recorder's not working right now, so this is all going to be on my phone. Hopefully it comes out okay. Thought I'd do a quick little video and we'd start pulling some parts off this Junkyard Javelin, getting it ready to start building it into hopefully something we can run at Bonneville a lot faster than what the AMX is gonna, or what the AMX can be teched for, because I just don't want to cut the AMX up to make it pass the techs. So anyways, I think the first thing we're gonna have to do is rip off the hood latch assembly thing. Just the bumper, get that fender off, get the, I guess this is like the crossbar for the core support to the engine compartment there for more strength, I think. And then I want to tear the guts out of this door so we can kind of look at that and get a game plan on how we're going to do our Lexan glass and all that stuff. But anyways, like I said, it's going to be on my phone, so hopefully this all comes out okay. And we'll go from there. So the first thing, well, the easiest thing about these AMCs are there's not a whole lot of different size bolts. So first thing I do is just grab a couple of sockets, 1/2 inch, 5/8 for the bumper bolts. We might need a 9/16. I don't think so. I think it's mostly all 1/2 inch, and then you'll need a 5/16 if you have a complete car to get out some of these things. And sometimes there's a weird like 7/16 bolt holding some of this stuff on, but that might have just been my AMX with some oddball bolts on it. All right, well anyways, I'll get some of this torn off and we'll take a look at all the damage on the front of this car. Well, she's not exactly straight, but yeah, we could probably pound out some of this stuff here. We're gonna obviously have to put some sort of bar back in here. I'm sure that got torn off because somebody tied a rope around it to pull this thing. But yeah, a lot of odd stuff on this. I got just a random wire attached to that, and I don't know. This poor car, it's probably been through some rough stuff. But the good news is most all this stuff up here is straight, so that'll save us some time and effort. This fender's kind of crunched in a little bit. But that's why we're building this car, because you know, some of you guys have told me, well, that's a really nice rust-free shell and it should be saved. Well, it's got a lot of damage in it too. And you know, this car is missing everything, so I don't think most anybody's going to try to restore it. I mean, I guess if you had a good Javelin with some good front end parts and you wanted to cut all that out and redo the front of this rust-free shell, I guess maybe, but that's a lot of work. But anyways, this thing here is kind of bashed up. We should be able to pound her out straight, and that thing there should be straight, but it's curved. And I actually have another one of those, so because it's not a big deal. But yeah, that fender is a little bit crushed in. One of you guys sent me a link to a guy who makes a whole fiberglass front clip, like it's the hood, fenders, bumper, grill, everything in one chunk. And it's not very expensive either, so I might reach out to that guy and we might just put like a whole tilting front fiberglass front end on this. But we'll have to see, because it's kind of sad, but I can buy that whole fiberglass tilt front end for the same amount of money as people want for just one fender. So that might be an option. But I do kind of want to use that grill because the grill is kind of nice, but we'll see. So I'm gonna get this bumper ripped off and then I'm gonna start on that fender there. Well, these fenders aren't too hard to pull off. I always have these interesting fender bolts though. Actually had a guy one time, had a bunch of fender bolts and oddball parts for Javelins and AMCs, and all he wanted to buy were those bolts. So I sold him about a dozen of them, and he was very happy with that because he tells me most of the cars that he finds or gets, people's ripped those little weird tangs out that these screw into and put like Chevy ones in there, which I haven't seen that yet. Every one of these cars have had the original fender bolts in them, luckily, I guess. This bottom one down here can be a real bear cat, especially if you have rust. A lot of times they break and won't come out. The passenger side on the AMX actually did that, but of course I fixed it up. Now this has always kind of been interesting to me. The AMX did not have these, of course it was in a million pieces, but I had another Javelin once and it seemed like it was welded right here too. I guess that's probably a factory deal where they welded that on there for, I don't know, extra strength or something, but maybe you guys know, you can tell me in the comments. Tell me what I don't know, because I really don't know if that's factory or somebody actually welded that on there. Or I've had the only 2 Javelins in the world that was welded there. I don't know, maybe I have. But lastly on these fenders, so you got all those bolts. You got that little strut piece there. And then you got one that's behind a kicker panel. He's actually, where is he? He's right there. And you can tell because he's got that weird bolt in him, but you gotta take out the kicker panel to get to him and take that out. And then, I don't know if you got that weld, I guess you gotta cut that weld. And then on here is kind of a lip, most of them have. It's back here, so you kind of want to be careful. You gotta lift that up and kind of slide it out. It's like a little curved lip that holds this fender in. It's actually kind of a nice little touch. It really helps get your fenders lined up pretty good. But I gotta get that kicker panel off and then I'll get this fender yanked off there. All right, got her all off there. As you can imagine, there's dirt, as there always is in these. Rat's nest. And some more dirt. And then my AMX has these little metal things that go like this. And somebody pointed that out in a video one time because I mentioned that before. And they said that some of the AMXs had that welded in there, just a plate. It's kind of triangular, but I don't know that for sure. I just know that every Javelin I've ever pulled fenders off doesn't have anything like that. Anyways, I'm just going to show to get this kicker panel out if you want to do it the right way and not break it into a million pieces. It's kind of a little bit of a chore. You got to take your seal plate cover off, and then you got to take your emergency brake pedal off on this side because you got to be able to get up to all the screws. And there's like 6 screws in that thing, so it's a little bit of a pain. But the emergency brake pedal thing is pretty easy. There's a bolt underneath the, or a nut, I think. It could be a bolt. Underneath you get dash, and then you just have your 2 nuts right here on the side under the wheel well. I'm gonna get that out of the way. But this part of the car seems to be pretty straight and solid, so happy with that. So it's a little crashed in there, but it doesn't look like it's really bent or twisted or anything. And then this side here looks pretty good too, so I think we at least got a solid foundation to start with. I got to get this off, but lastly too, I got a little ahead of myself. There are 2 3/8 bolts underneath the headlight bezel inside the fender that you got to remove as well. But all in all, the fenders aren't real super hard to take apart. Now, I still haven't decided whether I'm doing a manual in this car or I'm going to do an automatic. That I have not figured out yet. I do know that this is coming out, and I do know that more than likely, no matter how many of you get upset, it's probably going to get an LS butt in it, and it's probably actually going to get the supercharged drivetrain out of the AMX butt in it. And the reason why is because I can do 152 mile an hour and 3/4 of a mile in that AM Max. You know, that drivetrain is, you know, it probably has a lot more it can do. So I'm kind of curious, unless I sell the supercharger off of it and we go turbo, I'm probably going to put that drivetrain into this car, build this car up so we can pass tech, and then go out there and see it. Now, I've had that car up to 162, 63, something like that on the interstate. So, I mean, I know it'll get up there in speed. We basically need to go do like our 175 license. So we need to try to go over 175 mile an hour in this car. But like I said, that all might change and it might just go turbocharge, you know, LS 6 liter or something like that, you know. But it's all just depends on what, you know, how it all works out. And one last thing I thought was interesting, it looks like writing or something inside this bumper. It's kind of hard to say, but yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. Kind of rusted through. Maybe they had written on the bare metal before they electroplated it. I'm not sure. Okay. Well, the next part is taking all the guts out of these doors. Now, the door mechanism, the latch, I'm going to leave alone. But I am probably going to change, I might have to change this out a little bit. Now there's nothing wrong with these AMC interior door latches other than they break sometimes. But I have had them where they're just worn out and you really have to get on them to open the door right. And no, you can't adjust them because the pins are worn out on them. And unfortunately, part of tech is you have to be able to open your door in an emergency situation. So I might switch out the way this is, but that doesn't really matter because we're just going to throw some sheet metal, or we may not even put anything over this door. So it's not really going to make a difference. It's kind of a nice thing with this open canvas on this Javelin. We can modify it some, so, you know, it's not going to be original, so it's going to be okay. And then we got to get rid of all this stuff out of the door, basically a bare shell, all the tracks, everything out of it. And then we got to figure out how to build a rail system inside this door, make this door stronger, and then put like a kind of a flat rail system with these holes in it, you know, probably 4 holes or so. And then we got to build a frame for our Lexan glass that goes in here. The reason we want to do that is those holes will put little, like, you know, feet or whatever, so we can actually take the whole window out of the car or put it in, and then we have a bolt latch thing that holds the window in place. So, you know, if we ever want to drive it on the street for some unknown reason, you know, we can at least not suffocate in it and pull the Lexan glass out of it. Probably not this back window. It's going to be fixed. It's not going to be able to come in and out. It'll just be fixed into the car. I'm going to have to remove this, which actually this is in fairly decent shape, really. Actually, most of all the door trim on this is in pretty decent shape, really. But I'll have to remove all that. Well, I guess it's a little crunchy here. And, you know, we'll have to make a good tight seal for the door to seal up on. We'll have to have you know, vents cut in this back window for air pressure to escape. We have to have a fresh air inlet. All kinds of stuff just to do on the driver's side, not including the roll cage and how we got to do the full containment seat. But anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself, so I'm going to get this door, the guts ripped out of this door real quick, and we'll go from there. All right, well, we have one empty door. Nothing in there but rat crap and debris. Well, and the door latch. But yeah, this door is never very heavy to begin with, but boy, it's really light now. So that's what I pulled out of it. Regulator, the slides, The old window holders that are been glued in and split and broke like 4 times. But that one has an X in it. That thing there. So anyways, as always, when you're watching me tear this stuff apart on these videos, if there's something that you need, don't hesitate to ask, because I don't want it. I'm not the type of guy that's going to sit here and hold on to this stuff. So, but I can also tell you everything that comes out of this car is probably broken and not any good, but it could be saved. Window regulator actually seems to be pretty good. It doesn't really feel loose or have a lot of play in the arms. But, you know, just remember, I'm not going to take 15 million pictures for you, go over every part, you know. I'm the kind of guy, you pay for shipping. If you need it, you can have it. And I think the door seals in the AMX are actually in really good shape, but these door seals seem to be in pretty good shape too, but I'm not going to reuse them. So anyways, like I said, just keep that in mind as you're watching this. Door parts, anything like that I'm taking off, just let me know. And no, the windshield wiper is not for sale. Somebody's already bought that, but transmission kick down, you know, stuff like that. If I don't put a standard transmission in it, I don't know if the 3-speed Z bar is the same or not, but there's a clutch pedal assembly, stuff like that in this car. So those drums, which I'm sure nobody wants, but you know, I'll throw that out there. And oh, before I completely forget, I was going to show you how crashed this engine cradle is, cross member. So it's bashed up against there. Well, it's actually twisted the whole thing. And it's actually tilted. So if you're looking at the ground, we'll say that's kind of level there. It's actually tilted down and everything. So this poor old car was drugged down a hill and just slammed into some rocks or something. But yeah, we're gonna have to pull that out and either make a custom cross member, engine cross member, or get another one for it. But yeah, that one's in really, really rough shape. So is the tie rod bar there. Somebody hooked a chain on that and pulled it too. But it won't be too bad. We'll just get a piece of bar, straighten all this out the best we can, weld that in there. We got to do kind of a subframe connections underneath this car. Redo the engine cradle anyways, because those A-arms are kind of flimsy in my opinion. So if we're going to reuse AMC A-arms, we're going to have to kind of weld some plates under those to strengthen them up a little bit. Basically going to have to beef up this this car pretty well, you know, to handle going that fast on the salt. And you know, hopefully we can get this done here before next year. That's the goal. But like everything, takes money and time, and I don't have a whole lot of time because nobody wants to work anymore, and we're down to like 4 employees at the place I work at, and I work all the time now, so that's why I'm not doing too many videos right now, because I don't have a whole lot of time to do that kind of stuff. Well, anyways, thanks for watching the video, and if, like I said, if you want any of these parts that are coming off of this car that I'm not using, except for like the bumper and stuff, because I may have to use that stuff, or anything on that engine that you see you want, and let me know. Unfortunately, you're better off to look us up on our Facebook group page or Instagram to let me know if you want something. Most comments on YouTube are getting held for some reason. I don't have anything on the YouTube comments for that, but some of you guys aren't getting your comments through, and I never know you left me a comment because it's, for some reason, by YouTube, they're saying that it's inappropriate. So Anyways, Facebook group page, it's all the same as my YouTube. It's 68_AMX_LS. It's a public page. You don't have to join. You don't have to be a member. It's a free page to look at. So, all right. Well, until the next video, thanks for watching.